guys, this is Mariam from We Don't Care TV, and I'm standing here with Paolo from Trivium. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Are you excited to play here?
Yeah, we got a good set tonight. Kicking off Nova Rock, starting the weekend with a bang.
You played here several years ago as well, so how do you like Nova Rock in regard to other festivals?
Well, we played this festival when it was a little bit smaller, like maybe, I want to say maybe almost 10 years ago or maybe 8. And it's just amazing to see that it's grown so big as well as so many festivals across Europe. But I think what's kind of nice about this one is, to me, this is like kind of the quintessential look of a European festival, just a wide open field out in the middle of nowhere, just people partying, drinking, watching bands. And that's the one thing we've always explained to people back home in the States is just the vibe here. It's something you have to come and experience to really understand. And we've started to have that in America. There's new festivals that are kind of along the lines of this. But I still think European festivals, especially Nova Rock, have had a head start. So, it's just always fun to come back. It's so well set up and the lineups are always killer.
What would you recommend the American festival promoters to do?
Honestly, the festivals are getting really good now, so I would just keep saying, you know what, I think it would be cool if some of those promoters came over here and saw these, and if some of the promoters from here were to go to America and see what we're doing. I feel like a cross between both ideas, because I think American festivals have some cool stuff that could be incorporated here, just like the little things when it comes to like stuff for the crowd. That maybe doesn't even have to do with the music side of things, but I think both are doing a great thing for rock right now, because there's definitely feels like there's a big resurgence in the scene across the world. Ticket sales seem to be up, people seem to be going out to shows, and it's thanks to promoters willing to put these festivals on and have us come out and play.
For us, because I've never been to an American festival, what do they have what we don't?
It's so similar in some ways. I think maybe it just comes down to like the local flavor of each festivals. And one thing that's really cool now with the American festivals is they're starting to incorporate a lot of like food trucks and like whiskey and bourbon and a lot of that kind of stuff. And I feel like that is one thing in America, like when we go, it's like all out for like food and stuff like that, and I'm sure there's good food out there as well. But that's the one thing I noticed, we're like really on top of, when it comes to food trucks. That's like our thing right now. And craft beer. So for Trivium, that is pretty much all we really need is good food and beer and alcohol, and we're pretty much a happy band. And well, thankfully over here, good beer is easy to find.
What's your favorite beer?
Favorite? That's tough. It's hard for me to pick like the names out. If I had to pick a style, I like the Hefeweizen a lot. That's just like a good summer beer. Very, very easy to drink, just reminds me of summer drinking it. I've always loved Guinness as well, so I'm a quarter Irish, so that's the quarter Irish in me that loves Guinness.
So you have like Italian, Irish, American, completely mixed?
Yeah, it's pretty much just 75% Italian, a quarter Irish, which is a pretty volatile mix of genes, I think. It's like pretty much all attitude, which I think definitely would sum me up in general.
What do you like playing more, the festivals or small clubs?
Both have their ups and downs. I love playing festivals, love playing in front of a lot of people. It's the best way to pick up new fans that have maybe heard your song but want to put a face with the song, want to see the band live, see what they're about. Playing like the smaller clubs or playing halls, playing your own headlining shows are fun, because you can get a little deeper into your catalog. You can play songs that are a little bit more obscure, and your fans are going to know more of that stuff. Like, we wouldn't be as daring with the set list on a festival, like start playing a B-side or something and just no one would know it, so there's the trade-off there. But you can't, in my opinion, these are just so integral to bands. No matter how big you are, you have to come out and play these festivals. There's always a new generation of kids coming for the first time, and that's what makes these exciting, is because you know there's a lot of people that are coming to festivals for the first time, and that's, I think, what gives the energy to these crowds. It's the younger kids coming out, you know, maybe experiencing what a festival's like for the first time.
In regard to the set list, who is deciding the set list?
We kind of decide on the spot. We kind of have like a ballpark figure of like what songs we'll play for an hour, but we'll change it up. It's pretty democratic. If someone wants to play something, we'll throw it in the set. We don't really have like a rigid system of how we pick it. It's just kind of what we're feeling, and you know, if we have a new song down we want to play, we'll throw it in the set.
What's your favorite song of Trivium to play live?
Oh, there's a lot now. It's usually some of the songs that we haven't played in a while that we're playing. Like, we started playing a song called Shattering the Skies Above, which was kind of a single in between Shogun and In Waves. And we played it for a little bit when it first came out, and then it kind of made its way off the set list for a long time, and we're playing it again. And now that we're playing it with Paul behind the kit, it's just been more fun, feels more solid, and you know, going back to songs that we haven't done in a while are always fun. And then you have songs like In Waves, Pull Harder, the songs that I think people have just, you know, really gravitated towards over the years, Down from the Sky. I'd say staple songs in the set. They're fun to play still.
Yeah, they're great songs.
Yeah.
In regard to Trivium, you released an album last year.
Mm-hmm.
What's your plan despite touring?
I mean, it's really all based around touring and the album. We have a couple tours in the works that haven't been announced, something in America and something over here. So once we kind of get that all squared away, we'll get those announced, and people can look forward to us coming back and playing longer sets.
Nice, but no, I think you'll take your time until you release a new album, right?
No, this is going to be touring on this album, at least until early next year.
Mm-hmm. What's the difference in album making nowadays in regard to when you started?
We just understand the process more. We understand the importance of writing together, importance of jamming, importance of bouncing ideas off one another, and just working as a team and not saying no to any idea right off the bat. Like, trying things out and trying to work together has been the biggest benefit for us. It not only does it make things fun, it just makes the process smoother, especially for like when we work with producers or mixers. I think one thing that people seem to always reiterate to us is just how functioning and well we work together as a band, and that I think it makes their jobs a lot easier and a lot more fun. You know, it's not fun to work with people that don't like each other and are having, you know, drama behind the scenes, and we keep drama to the absolute minimum. That's like, we're just not about that. So we try to have fun, we try to work hard, and you know, that's what we've learned over the years, is the more hard work, the less drama, the better overall for everything.
But do you also feel pressure, or do you say, no, I don't want to feel pressure, I want to take my time to really perfect everything?
Yeah, I think pressure and you know, having doubts is part of the process. I think if you weren't having those sort of things, I might question if you're really putting in a lot of effort and time. You know, I mean, for me, writing it's all about that self-doubt with the feeling of when something finally connects and it feels right and you know that it's going to be cool when it's done. It's that mixture. You have to have that. And I think if you're not questioning your own music, you're not putting yourself through it enough. You know, don't wait for me, I don't like to wait for someone like a producer or someone down the line to be like, oh, you didn't put enough time into this, you need to go back to the drawing board. Like, I'd at least like to know that an idea I bring to the table has been well vetted just in my own mind, and when I bring it to, like, you know, Matt and Corey, at least it's as far as I could take the idea, and then they help, you know, bring it somewhere else, and we do that for each other. So, you know, you got to have that moment of doubt sometimes when you're making a record, like, oh, are we not in the right ballpark right now? But when you get through to the other end and the stuff's mixed and mastered and you listen to the final CD, you have it in your hand, I mean, there's no feeling like that. I mean, to me, it's like Christmas on steroids.
What's first, the lyrics or the melody, or is it a mixture between both?
It's kind of a mixture. We've kind of, I'd say over the last couple of records, we really have learned the benefit of thinking about vocals and lyrics a lot earlier on in the process. And I think the next record, you know, I would love to incorporate it way sooner and let that be a bigger focal point in the beginning. I think it just kind of makes more sense than writing a song, getting all the riffs, putting everything in place, practicing it, learning it, and loving it the way it is, and then all of a sudden throwing in vocals and then seeing that things aren't working or that it's clashing, and then you have to kind of go backwards and reverse engineer your song. I feel like it should all be coming together at the same time. And I mean, that's just really trial and error. You start to learn that right away. And you know, in the past, there's songs that from a couple of the old records that like we'll play live every now and then, or we'll rehearse and then won't play live just because it doesn't feel as natural as it did on the record. You can do anything on a record. Like, the technology today is ridiculous. You could make anyone sound great on a record. You could put anything, any crazy idea you want, you could splice it together and make it work. But playing live is like the great equalizer. You can't, I mean, you could fake some stuff, but I mean, especially with harder technical stuff, sometimes it just feels awkward when you're playing something and singing to it, and then you're like, wow, this really doesn't feel as comfortable as this song. And that's what we kind of learn, and that's to me, that's the fun part of being a musician and writing is you know, if you get to make another record, if you're lucky enough to make another record after one you release, you know, it's the do-over. You can try something new, and you learn from what works and what doesn't work, and you build upon that.
If you can pick any musician from any band, it doesn't matter if they're dead or alive, what would be your all-time favorite band if you can put all the musicians together, and what would you name the band?
Oof, man, we lost a lot of really great people this year. Well, I think I'm going to take some people that have passed away because I'd love for them to come back. I mean, if you could put Dimebag Darrell on guitar and Lemmy on bass, maybe Lemmy on vocals too. Drums, oh man, that's a tough one. There's so many good ones that could go in there. I guess if I could stick with the theme of guys that have passed on, you know, maybe, you know, a John Bonham, you know, really throw three guys with such bigger, larger-than-life personalities together and, you know, make it be a power trio and see what comes out of that. Probably something heavy, kind of proggy, you know, great songwriters, great players. You know, that would be my band I'd like to see.
What would you call the band?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I don't know. I would have to. I don't know. That would be tough. I don't know. Pretty much. That's like a god level band. So maybe something based on that. You know, that's like when it comes to musicians, the greatest. So. I don't know. I'd have to think about that because a band that great would deserve a great name, and I would have to think hard about it.
When you think about it, just send me the name.
Yeah, I'll have to keep that in mind.
Okay, then thank you very much for the interview. Very nice meeting you, and
thank you.
I'm looking forward to see you today.
Thank you very much.
And for you, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and see you soon. Bye.